The Real Hustle Podcast.
Hey everybody, Mark McKenna. Welcome to the Real Hustle Podcast. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're not in our typical studio. We are just about done our new recording studio, so we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. So we have some great guests coming on in the next month. So we'll let you know that we're going to have the real estate legend, also known as my mother, Eleanor McKenna. We're going to go through her life story of her journey through real estate and how she's become an icon in the South Jersey industry and a role model for a lot of people in this business. And then we have a really special guest too, someone I'm blessed to have, Rob O'Neill. If anybody knows Rob O'Neill, he's from SEAL Team 6. He's the gentleman who is known for taking out Osama bin Laden. So I got a special props out to some of my friends who were able to get Rob O'Neill into my office and do our first couple live podcasts from our new recording studio. So with that segue, I want to tell you a couple things. Eleanor McKenna, Rob O'Neill, a little different in how they act every day, but, you know, they're leaders, okay? And one thing that I have noticed, my role has changed in the real estate industry, and I've become more of a recruiting person, and I see a giant void out there in leadership. I see agents come in from other companies, not just any specific company, but from all over. And I think what they're really looking for is leadership. One thing that our industry does not do well, they make you pass a test, but it tells you nothing about how to function in your day-to-day, how to interview with a brokerage, what to do. So we're going to focus a little bit on the things that are so important, because the failure rate in real estate is absolutely off the charts astonishing. And why? There's two reasons. One, it's hard, okay? Let's face it. It's not easy coming into an industry with veterans who have been, grinding away for 25, 30, 40 years, who have a great client base. And a lot of people think that all their friends and family are just going to drop those relationships and go with them because they know them. Well, that's not the case, because it's your biggest asset of your life, okay? So a lot of failure, a ton of rejection. I think TV makes it look so glamorous and so easy, and that's the furthest thing from the truth, all right? Second is, you're not taught anything. You don't know what to ask people when you go on a job interview for a real estate company, all right? You go out there and you say, hi, I want to work here. And you don't even know what questions to ask people, okay? So, and a lot of people come in, especially, I hate to say this, the younger generation, first question, what's my commission split? And you know what I say? I'm saying, probably this isn't the place for you to work at. Because if you can't understand what we're trying to teach you and to develop you as a great agent, and all you're concerned about is your commission split, this isn't the best thing to do. And right over there, that's the front door. So, these are the type of things that you need to know when you're walking in to an environment that is, you have the ability to make as much money as you can, but the failure rate's probably about 86, 87% from what I've read over the years. And I could say it. It's difficult. I mean, the amount of people in our small world that have come through the door and succeeded is really difficult. So what do? You go in, you're all fresh, you're all gung-ho, out of real estate school. Like, what do you ask somebody, okay? So as a real estate professional, the number one thing you need is support. I mean, hands down, because everybody wants to take in an office, throw you in an open house, hope you get lucky, call all your friends and family, and just get out there and hope you get lucky, okay? You need to have training. You need to have accessibility. When you go into an office interview and you say, if I have questions at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, will they be answered? If the answer is, we don't take calls after 5 o'clock and we're not accessible on weekends, you should leave. That is the wrong environment for you to be at, because the busiest time for real estate agents are nights and weekends, hands down. Okay? That is not the environment you want to be in. That is going to cost you money, and you are not going to learn work ethic. Hands down. So give you a little background. Our business, 45 years, I think it's our 46th year. Okay? This business was built on hard work. Weekends, nights, in people's kitchens. That is not an acceptable answer. I don't care what you say. Real estate is not hard. It's just not easy. Okay? So, question. If you're not accessible after hours, you should just leave and get up and go. All right? That's number one. Number two, super important. And nobody asked me this question in an interview. I probably interview 3-4 people a week. And the question should be, how many agents do you have in the office? And how many salaried people, ready, listen, how many salaried people do you have to help me succeed so I'm not one of the 86% of the casualties out there? It's a simple question. All right, so if you have an office that has 500 agents or 300 agents and they say they have 6 salaried people, again, see that exit sign? That's probably the place that you should go, because you will never get the attention that you need. You need support. Our philosophy is, and listen, I ran lean and ran by the seat of my pants. That is not a good feeling, okay? To me, it's so important that my agents have accessibility 24/7. I shouldn't say 24/7. That's unrealistic. But if they call me at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night and I'm on a point, I'm going to call them back by 8 o'clock at night. They'll text me. They'll get back to me. If I'm not there, there's a chain of command. That is and we're not the only people who do this. So don't take this like I'm on my soapbox, like we created this model. But these are the questions that you need to ask these brokers or managers that you're interviewing, because they're going to tell you, they like to bring people in. We always joke in a real estate interview, how do you get the job? And they pull a mirror out, they hold it up to your nose. If you fog it up, you're hired. Okay? And it's just a mass hiring. And if they think they can hire 30 people and maybe 2 or 3 stick, they're happy. That's not what you want. You want to go somewhere where they cherish the transaction, where they want to teach you from top to bottom. I mean, some of the questions that we talk about in our sales meetings that we hear from other agents is really embarrassing. And it all falls back on the leadership in the company. That's what it comes down to. Okay? So you have to do, because that interview is going to tell you everything you need to know. Okay? Who do I report to? What's my training? What are your expectations? If you have someone who tells you, well, we don't really care if you sell 2 houses a year, probably not the place for you to go. What are you trying to build? What is your growth model? What are you looking to accomplish? Do you talk to your agents? Do you have yearly one-on-ones about what their goals are for the following? These are all important questions. In real estate school, none of this happens, not one thing. Now, I know they have requirements from the state. There should be a secondary course on what to do, on where to go, okay? When you interview for these agencies, like I get people who just come in, I need to get my license signed up. I'm like, whoa, that's not what we do here. I just can't take your license just because you failed to get your license within that year period. Okay. It's a waste of energy. You're not trying. We want people who are going to succeed. I don't like to tell people that they're not cutting it. All right. So we want committed people who are going to do in that, we like that sweet spot, 8 to 12 transactions a year, because we think we can take that person who does 8 to 12 and turn them into 20 to 25. And if you're doing 25 transactions in the real estate industry, you're actually a very good agent. I mean, you're doing a great job. When you start to get into that 35 to 40, then that's a whole nother tier. And then you're teetering with, okay, do I build my own team? And everybody hears the word team thrown around, okay? So here's another food for thought for all the real estate people out there. If you're not writing 30 plus transactions a year on your own, you should not have a real estate team. It's easily done, okay? 30 transactions or less, you should be on your own, maybe with someone helping you. You should not develop this team. You don't know enough. It's sad to say that, but that's the reality of it. Myself, along with 2 other agents that I know in South Jersey, were probably the first agents who really hired a group to take it to the next level. And back in 1995, 96, there was no teams. So we would do 75, 80 transactions a year on our own and maybe have one assistant. And then your quality of service kind of diminished, and you knew you had to build it up if you were taking your business to the next level. I'm going to tell you a quick story. A good friend of mine, I always said, I want to get to 200 transactions. And he said to me, you'll never get to 200 transactions. I said, why not? No one's ever done it in South Jersey. And I said, well, that's more reason why I think I'm going to get to 200 transactions. He goes, you'll never do it. I said, okay. So the market, I was at that 160. I think it did 189 one year. And then the bottom fell out. I mean, it was 2008, 9, 10, 11. And it was just horrific. You can't even imagine. I think in 2011, I had a group of 3 or 4 people. We did 99 deals. And we were the top team in Burlington County. So things got better, 12, 13, 14. We started to get backing up into that 150, 160 range. I think it was 2015, I did 212 transactions. And my buddy, if you're watching this, you know who you are. I'm not going to mention your name. I broke 200 about end of October. And I couldn't wait to pick up that phone, okay, and call him and say, guess what I did? I said, guess what? I closed my 200 half. I hung up the phone, okay? So the point being is, when you're going to work for a brokerage, you don't want to work for a team leader who's never sold a lot of real estate, okay? That's a problem. They hire low-level agents in a lot of these companies to coach people to do something that they've never done, and they don't know the level of sacrifice that it takes to get to that level. I mean, it's really, you don't understand how much time and the late hours that you have to do to get to that level. If you want to be in that top tier, okay, who can I learn from in this organization who's done it, who's going to help me succeed at a high level? Again, where is the leadership in this industry? It lacks tremendously. And you know why? I want to tell you why. Because the top tier agents don't want to get into management. They don't want to be a team lead. Because it's a major pay cut. And even a lot of these top tier agents, I'm not going to say all of them, they run scrambled day to day. Their systems aren't strong. If your systems are strong, then you can help people grow and still sell real estate. Okay? Most people don't know this podcast is at 8:30 in the evening. It's not in the middle of the day. Okay? My day is focused on from 8:30 till 1 o'clock generating business. I have to stay on a strict schedule. I was out this morning at 6:45. You know why? Because I had to get things done to make sure everybody was happy in my day. Okay? Is there a work balance you can get when you're trying to build a large business? It's tough. I'm not going to lie. It really is. Where's that life-work balance? You know, honestly, that's a bunch of bullshit in my opinion. You got to work your ass off hard and go after it. And then when you start making a lot of money, then things will balance out. That's how it works. That's your work-life balance. Okay? So when you're going into these offices, these new agents, and you're trying to figure everything out, you have to know what to ask. Make sure, what's my support? Where's my training at? Who am I going to look up to? Who can I learn how to build a team with? You know, I tell these new agents who come in, it's so important to start on a team. You're not going to like your commission splits. You're not. But in a year, you're going to get more information. My agents who, actually my salaried people who work for me close to us where everything happens, the experience and the knowledge they get just listening to the conversations is priceless. They're just like they learn so much. Then they just emulate everything that everybody in the office says. All are seasoned people. They get it. And they turn into amazing salespeople. Okay? So make sure you find, and I'm going to say this. I'm not going to go on the, I don't talk brands. I never talk brands. But the brand isn't the most important thing. It is important. The infrastructure, the culture, and the leadership that you get in an office, that is the most important thing in my opinion, because there's so many real estate agents in the market today. You need to find someone who's going to make you shine and understand and motivate you, because this business is full of rejection, a ton of it. Okay? So, and my wife laughs when I say this, and my wife's a wonderful person and so outgoing and happy. But I always say it to people, imagine being married to the most miserable person and getting rejected every day. And then every 45th day in a month, there's only 30, you get, okay, let's do something fun. That's what real estate is. You're calling, hung up, hang up, open houses, turn down, fake phone numbers, this thing, people don't show up, and then boom, hi, I showed one house, I put a deal together. Great. Okay? Give them good service. They'll send you 3 referrals. That's the name of the game. Prospect. Call. Boom. It happens. Then you start counting your numbers and you know, hey, if I make 65 calls a day, I'm going to get one good lead. And you develop wins. Okay? Someone who's never done that cannot coach you through that. I will tell you that right now. Because nobody knows what it's like when you're on the phone for 4, 5, 6 hours unless you've done it. Some of my best hires in my career, I will tell you, I have a young agent in my office. I'm not going to mention who or they are. At a party, at my house. What are you doing? I make 200 cold calls a day. How many? 200. Do you like your job? No, I hate it. Do you want to get into real estate? Yes. An absolute animal on the phone and a closer. Okay, if you have that skill and you had a job where you're making $30,000, $35,000, $40,000 a year, get into real estate. You can call me. I'll hire in 5 seconds. All right? With the proper leadership and you have that phone skill, you will succeed at such a high level, you will be blown away. Okay? What you see on TV, total fake, or as we call it in the office, fugazi, total fake nonsense. Okay? It's hard work that if you do it right has a ton of benefits. So I was really feeling frustrated because I see so many people come in and they're from all different companies and they're just lost. And I was talking to my crew here at the studio, and I was like, I have a good idea what I want to talk to people about. It's about leadership, going to the right company, make sure that you connect, and making sure that leader that you're going to work for is going to take you to the next level, so you're not a casualty out there in this real estate world. All right? So I hope you, people who are inspiring agents or people who are struggling out there, really think about that. If it's something that is working for you where you're at, or it's not, make sure you find that right thing. Honestly, I'm going to get sidetracked 1 second. I got a real estate coach in 2020. The best thing I ever did. Because when you're a top agent in the office, you don't have to report to anybody. A real estate coach or someone who's going to show you, who has done it, can take you to the next level. All right? So make sure you get that, and make sure you really listen and pay attention. Ask the right questions when you're on these interviews, and you do everything by the book, and you don't give up. You are going to get a million no's. Okay? Every time you get a no, you're that much closer to a yes.